On the table today at Squirrel Stampede, hopefully within the insides of this box, we will find the secret plans to destroying this massive death egg from Sonic the Hedgehog. Eggman has constructed another menace, and we have to build and figure this thing out. We first saw it about a month ago or so, Squirrel Stampede Summer Vacation over at the Sweet Sweet Toy Show. I couldn't figure out then, so now I have some time to build and construct and figure out how to destroy this thing, as it looks quite menacing. So follow along as we build and construct and have Sonic save the world.
Squirrel Stampede!
I still can't get over how big, how large the Death Egg playset box is. It is just enormously filling up my table size. Not much room left. Basically just a giant Death Egg inside with one figure of Sonic included. Over 12 inches tall, displayable from two ways, either with the full-on contraption with Eggman in the center, and on over to the front view with the giant Death Star Death Egg view of Eggman in front. How many times have we seen this Death Egg in gameplay? Well, let's get out a pack, see what we can find. I'm very curious how much assembly required. Oh my, just a few pieces. Well, it did take several years to build a Death Star, so I'm sure a Death Egg isn't far behind. What amount of pieces here? What a contraption build. Good detail work, actually. There's actual paint going through. Earlier last year we had the Death Egg for the Sonic movie, which I actually never reviewed. I was kind of disappointed in the lack of detail, so I just didn't get to it. But now, I think they've improved upon that. Oh, there's Eggman. So Eggman on his Eggmobile, just basic form right now. No contraptions hanging from this thing. I like that it's basic. No articulation through the figure. He's basically seated inside there and probably will feature some action soon. Get back here, Eggman. Get back here.
No.
And Sonic's here too. Sonic's in like a perpetual running pose, although his hands are out like he's trying to collect rings or... Oh, what is he doing? I'm trying to remember the exact game they are pulling this from. I feel like it's maybe Sonic 3, maybe something, maybe a few other games. He encounters the Death Egg a few times, doesn't he? But it feels more like a modern Sonic too, not really a classic Sonic. Look. And then just lots and lots of pieces. Look at the front end. Oh, this is incredible. This is amazing. An amazing display piece. It has some tape on there to keep his mustache or something from falling off. I'll have to peel that off, but that has got an incredible display. And I think there's even a tone of gray here around the eye. So that kind of gives it some depth. And the teeth have a little bit of a tone of gray, some yellow eye dots there, pupils to help stand out, which is important. I did not think that last egg had enough of that. Let's peruse these instructions a little bit. Kind of the downside to Jakks Pacific is always just vague instruction build. So we'll assemble the rings onto the back hub and then some more shelling around that. Placing together some shells over Robotnik. And then the functionality of it. Oh, I just dropped a panel. What's that famous painting, drawing, etching of the stairs that are like in perpetual, infinite stepping? You just keep stepping around in a circular motion. That's what it feels like with this. This makes no much sense right now. Even this makes it even worse. What is this? This is incredibly complicated. I feel like I'm looking into the fourth dimension. Hello, Sonic. If they can recapture an Eggman contraption, they certainly did. And by the way, speaking of Jakks Pacific vagueness, last time when we checked out the Bowser Bridge, we tail-ended it on some review. You basically press a button, knocking down the bridge, and I was just reading instructions, couldn't figure it out, and I told you to lift each tile of the bridge up, which is kind of tricky. As you had to do it all gently like. But then our friend Adric was over, and look at this. Well, maybe this is more obvious than ever. We've got a lever back here. I can't believe I missed it. Lifts the whole bridge up, and you can go again. So I'm shocked I missed that. Thanks, Adric, for helping us out on that one. To get this bridge set, that is so much easier than trying to lift them in succession. Now we've got the bridge all set to go. Mario is off on an adventure, but yeah, just clip this down, and there he goes. I swear there's always some sort of sneaky trap button with Jack's Pacific contraption playsets. I always miss them. Let's get building. I think we need to start with this. This is our display base. And there's also several tabby-like interesting pieces packed away in the box. Don't think those are junk. Make sure to keep those. They almost look like packaging, those things you twist off to release something, but they're important. So we need to find the back end bottom shell piece. I think it's this piece right here, this really cool colorful piece here with the yellow and the blue, very Death Star trench run like. And that will begin on the base, and then we have to find these rings. We're going to snap into the other base in a second. We take this thingy, this giant roundy halo thingy, and we've got to orient it probably in the right direction, and I'm not sure what direction just yet. Something like this. We take this other interesting ring piecey with the interesting transistors down the side, and I think we're going to somehow snap and slide these together. Probably this way. This has the hole, a larger hole on the bottom. Oh yeah, and there's some tab clips up top. These tab clips, give me 5 years. And we clippeth together like soeth. This is one of these builds that's just within my reach on the table here in my camera. But you can see these two clip together. It's actually pretty easy. The inner ring has tabs, and on the bottom I believe it was 2 tabs that fit in. On the top it was 4. Yeah, you can see there's 4 tabs here, 4 little slots that go in. Really easy, just match those up. Same thing with the bottom, make sure the larger circle is at the bottom when you place the red ring, I believe, is inside the blue ring. So once you kind of match that out, it comes together pretty easily. Not as hard as it looks, it's just a little bit squirrely in the construction of a death egg, right? So now we're going to take our base shell piece, our lower base shell piece, and then we have to figure out which direction this base goes in. I don't really see any perfect way other than just snapping it in, testing it out, and I believe this whole thing is going to kind of rotate in here. Not exactly sure. We've got this thing in the back that's bumping it. And then we can take this device, our tabletop device here, and we can probably just snap this entire structure down onto that. Okay, we're doing good. I had to go back real quick and check just to make sure I have everything connected. Make sure on this base post down here, going through this center hole, this little notch on this ring, this inner ring, lines up with this little post inside poking up through. It's really hard to explain, but when I press this button here, this piece needs to be able to move up and down. So you've got to align those rings just so that locks in. You might have to pop things out, pop back in to line up, but that's really important. I thought I'd highlight that a little for you. Now to place on the most visually stunning piece, the Eggman head portion. I think this will slide right into these slots all around the perimeter. Oh, this is so cool looking. I think the other movie Death Egg was purple too. It just was ugly. This feels game specific. Very nicely done, Pacific. So you got that shell now working around, and you can go into here. I feel like this is all has the ability to be taken apart rather well for storage. I feel like, I'm not sure, but I think I'll definitely leave this as a display piece because that is pretty terrific looking, don't you think? Alright, so rotate around to here. Okay, now we have a couple of these box clips that look like something you'd almost throw away, but you do not want to, as those are the continuation of the rails on top and bottom. I believe the one with the little side notch goes on the base, and it probably lines up somehow. Well, there we go. And it kind of flips back and forth between the two rails that Sonic will slide through. That one has the notch. The one with the little bumps are going to go up top. And there's some things going on up top I'm not sure about yet. I can't get the top to sandwich in, probably until I get this to post in, is my guess. Aha, yes. Now with this rail piece in there, it pulls down the top shell of Eggman, and I think this strange apparatus is now completed. Still a little squirrely, but we're getting there. So we have Eggman here now, and we've got to get his shielding on, his contraption egg ship shielding. Very odd. How does he fit in on this thing? There's also a post that's going to go back here and hold him into place. So I suppose he just simply fits in up top here, just right around the top. He's going to rest on in there, and then we'll just take this other shell piece and encase him into his ultimate weapon, right? And then maybe this piece, which end goes where? The smaller pig goes towards the back, I believe, and then this piece fits and clicks right there. And then this will click on into the back. You can see it, it's kind of hard to tell. And I think we've got him. I hope it's the right direction. Usually they make these just a one side, one fit. We'll find out. And Sonic, I believe, fits on this little rail track. His foot is going to peg into this. Only one foot, the foot that's forward, will peg in, kind of like a little surfboard piece. And this is what's going to slide him around the loop-de-loops. Theoretically, haven't yet really seen this work at all perfectly. Which direction and how? I mean, I don't even know. The instructions are so vague on this. It's so crazy. Okay, I spent the last 24 hours trying to get Sonic onto the rail, and we finally did by just smashing him on over to the rail, only to discover the simpler, easier method. Press down your button here, lifting up this. Lift that up like so, slide Sonic on, lift down, he's now onto the rail piece. So that's so easy. I can't believe I didn't notice that. Pretty obvious now. Get him in the center, lift up, he's off. Now he can't get back on very easily. Pop that up. Now he's back on. And I think maybe, not exactly sure yet, but if you want to go the other direction, you just tab it that way, lift up, get Sonic on, he's ready for his next attack run. Something like that. Or even technically, once he's on, just flip him back and forth to whatever rail you need him to work on. Now we take on Eggman, we can place him back in onto his pillar. And I think we're set. I think we're finally set for battle. Okay, once your death egg is finally constructed and set up, how are you supposed to play with this thing? And seriously, I'm asking, how are you supposed to play with this thing? These instructions are so vague, but I think I figured it out. I think I finally figured it out. It's not exactly a full continuous track play with Sonic. There's a lot of mechanical interruptions that you're going to have to deal with. But so you have Sonic on these two rings that you move by hand. There really isn't anything else to rotate these but your own hands. You can position them how you wish. Maybe perhaps they line up in a certain way better that you would like to attack Eggman with. You'll have to play with that. Right now, Sonic is on the red ring though, the inner ring. I think that's the inner ring. And I can slide him around, kind of giving him some fun loop-de-loop action around Eggman. And if I wish, I could switch it up. Rotate either at the top or the bottom. You can rotate these little hinges, these tabs, whatever you want to call them. And now Sonic is on the blue ring. Sonic is now attacking from the blue ring. And oh, I need to probably switch this one too. You have to switch them both manually to get him now onto the blue track just perfectly. So what do we gotta do? How do we take out Eggman? Well, basically it's only from the bottom, and it takes 3 hits to knock out Eggman, and I believe I've got him reset right now. So you can kind of see just above Sonic's head and below Eggman's Eggmobile, there is a little plunger that Sonic's head is going to smash into. See, he's gonna smash into that. And again, it's reset, so this first smash shouldn't break Eggman apart. Let's give it a hit. Well, it shouldn't have. Pretty sure that Metal Sonic had something to do with that malfunction. But basically, when you look inside Eggman's contraption, Eggmobile, every time I click this plunger, this little device in here is going to move, but only on the 3rd time. See? 1, 2, 3. And you notice it just moves just a little bit. Hard to tell, but it does. 1, 2, this is the 3rd one. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that means the first 2 Sonic hits are just damage, and then this one is the official one that will blow out Eggman. Okay, we're reset again, so let's place Eggman back in. He shouldn't blow up this time. Thank you, Metal Sonic, for ruining and spoiling the action feature trick. We place him back onto his post, and this time, Sonic will hit that plunger with just 1 point of damage. Now, if you want to pretend play that Sonic continues to run about, maybe switching tracks, over to the red track now. Sonic will spin attack, will hit him again from below. This should be our 2nd point of damage. And I believe we plungered that so. Now we continue to manually play and get Sonic up and over, probably switch back to the blue track. Make sure to flip both tabs. Sometimes they have a trouble lining up, and this final attack, this should be our 3rd attack. Press that plunger button and... break apart! We've done it! We've done it! We've destroyed Eggman's Death Egg. Well, maybe actually just destroyed Eggman. The Death Egg still stands. It's such an odd little contraption. I see what they're kind of doing there. They're trying to give the gameplay of Sonic spinning around him and then attacking, but it's too bad they weren't able to work in some sort of mechanism to keep Sonic maybe rotating around on some sort of little train track. That probably would have increased the price point by about $10,000, and so that's why they kept it simple. But it's a little bit clumsy. It's up to you to do most of the action, unless I did not see something that really runs him around manually or unmanually. It's kind of how it is. Place Eggman back in. He's now reset again for 3 times. That is, if I did it right. So let's try again. Sonic's down, ready to go. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. So maybe here's a good example of actual gameplay. My Sonic isn't entirely perfectly under that plunger in this position. So maybe that's some of the play, is getting him to rest perfectly under that plunger. But we got him anyway, so there you go. If you have found other ways to activate play in this, let us know in the comments. Tell us what you figured out. It's an interesting puzzle piece for sure. It's a fun little activity, definitely greater display piece. So that there, the Sonic Death Egg playset, pretty fun, better display than play, but still pretty impressive. If you liked today's video, please give us a squawk, squirrelib, squamment your favorite feature of the Death Egg. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget we have some Squirrel Stampede merch now. We've got hoodies and plush Landry and a questionable water bottle. Check those out. Information down below. Thank you again for watching. That's what I have to say about that.